everybody, and welcome to the Malibu Pacific Church podcast here in Malibu Pacific Church. If you are watching this online on YouTube and not just listening to it in a car or at the gym or while you're cooking or doing whatever, we are in our new podcast facility. We've been building it since 2017, everybody. And we're finally done. Just kidding. But we are in a new room. We do have a little podcast because there's going to be some really cool things that are coming right around the corner. So check out our podcast list that soon will launch. It's pretty exciting stuff here at Malibu Pacific Church because we are constantly evolving and learning and just being a part of the culture, which is fun.
Yeah. Malibu Stories, I think, or something like that. Yeah. Have we come up with a name yet? I think we're working on it.
It'll be there. We're workshopping a couple things.
All right. Okay. But the stories of Malibu. So be ready for that too.
Absolutely. Hey, so this past week, Super Bowl of Sundays, huh?
It is Easter.
Easter time. Man, this was your fourth
2021.
2021. Okay, fourth Easter.
Fourth Easter, yes.
Okay, 21. So this was like your senior year of high school.
4 years in. Did I graduate?
Yeah, you're a top classman.
Oh, well, we did well. I think we came up with some numbers that were close to 700 people here on campus.
Man. I feel like we keep hitting that 700 number, and it just is amazing.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
It's our lid. We need to work on breakthrough.
Absolutely. So we're going to be launching a second campus, breaking ground here.
Yes.
Right after we do another podcast studio. Just kidding. All right. So fourth Easter here, and your 20-something Easter being pastor?
Oh, more than 30. 30 years. Okay. Yeah, let's not go there.
Let's not go there.
Don't date me.
Oh, I won't. No, none of that. But even like past Easters, like in these last 4 years, or even in Santa Rosa, has there been something that has stood out during the Easter Sunday for you? Like as a lead pastor, where like you've kind of experienced something or have seen something, and it can be all the way from 20 years ago to this Sunday. What's something that stood out for you for Easter?
I think over the years, it's the stories. And so we usually show a life change story at the Easter service. Mm-hmm. And one more time, we heard a story of Jessa, who's 20 years old. I can't remember exactly, but she just shared her story about her anxiety. She was really transparent, and then coming to church and really how God is working in her, and she's taking steps and growing in her faith.
Yeah.
And so every Easter, at the end of the day, when we show that one story, I mean, the pancakes or the food or the yogurt and the desserts and everything that we do, the donuts, is great fun and funny and great fun games inside and great worship and everything. At the end of the day, when we show that life change story, and been doing that for about 20 years, it's a reminder, and I'm just standing there going, that's why we do what we're doing.
Yes.
That's it.
That's it right there.
Yep.
That's the secret sauce to all the other things.
Everything we do. So those 3 minutes for the last 3 years, every one of those life change stories, it's a reminder, this is why we're doing what we're doing.
Absolutely. And we're trying to remove any barrier with any person who's coming out on campus. So we're very intentional and strategic to make sure that anybody who walks onto this campus feels loved, that they're invited, and that this could be a place that they can call home. And they can find community here, and then life change comes through that. And so it is silly to think through like, oh, mini donuts. But you know what? Those mini donuts might just bring somebody to be like, hey, I had a good time at that church.
Yeah.
Yes, we had 5,000 eggs, right? Wow, I can't believe they had 5,000 eggs. And it is, it's interesting because sometimes we get some people that are like, well, that's not about Jesus, and that's not about what we were supposed to be doing. What would you say to a person that maybe has that maybe in the thought or in the back of their mind?
You're right. Easter eggs are not in the Bible. You're absolutely right. And you also need to watch our Instagram video when Jesus, podcast with Jesus with the bunny rabbit. But there is some tension there between the two, as you could tell.
Absolutely.
But you know what? Jesus was very attractional.
Yeah.
He drew crowds. And Jesus is okay with crowds and likes crowds, and they came for something. Every single one wanted something from Jesus. Will you feed us? Will you heal us? Will, the 5,000 and so forth, of people coming for the food or whatever it may be. Yeah. Jesus drew crowds, and they were there to get something.
Yeah.
The hard thing is, and yeah, everybody's coming either with a need or with a problem or as a consumer.
Mm-hmm.
We all do. And that's been the history of humanity. And
Totally.
they did that with Jesus. But Jesus then challenged them to be contributors, to give their lives to him, to take steps and come follow me.
Yeah.
So that is actually the model, to use something that's attractional. And I believe the church should be attractional. It should be a fun place and should be a place that people want to go to.
Yeah.
I mean, people who are far away from God, not religious, loved hanging out with Jesus, the Son of God. So I think we should be the same thing, have the same thing. So
Yeah.
if it's an Easter bunny or Easter eggs or whatever it is, and it brings a crowd, absolutely. But by the end of the morning, they will have heard the gospel and a challenge to follow Jesus.
Yes.
So come in as a consumer, and our goal is that you would leave as a contributor and somebody who's following Jesus, and you're giving your life to him and giving your life away to serving him.
Absolutely. And I feel like that is something that people really did experience out on the patio too, because we did have a handful of people that came just for the Easter celebration stuff and didn't
Nice.
want to go into the service. But at the same time, they're still going to hear the gospel, even if it's in the background.
Yeah.
They're still going to encounter a community and ask the questions of like, so why is this place doing this?
Yeah.
And who is it for? Because I feel like I actually belong here.
And somebody
yeah.
who does not go to church or is unchurched
Yeah.
or says, I'm not religious and this is a religious place, I don't feel like I belong here.
Mhm.
They're asking the question, can I trust these people?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Are they normal enough? Are these my people here? So what you're saying is right on the money. Having stuff just out on the patio, and even though they didn't go in the building, but they're interacting with our members and other Christians, and
Totally.
they're like, what's going through their heads is, oh, these are normal people. I like these people. I'm enjoying myself. Oh, I think I can trust them. Yeah. And so I'll come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever it takes.
All right. So you've been preaching the Easter message for
3 weeks in a row. Yeah. Same message 3 weeks in a row.
Same message 3 weeks in a row,
Yeah.
and for a couple of years here.
I hadn't thought of it quite that way, but yeah,
it's
that's true.
okay. No,
That's true.
I think it was Andy Stanley's son that made the joke of my dad has to preach from the same
You can
the
see
same
that
book.
on Instagram.
Yeah, the same book every single
My
week.
dad has to do a book report every week.
Yeah.
From the same book, and the story doesn't change.
Exactly, and it's
It's a
funny.
great line.
His son is a comedian as well. He's
His
like,
name's
I can pull from
Andrew
anywhere.
Stanley, and he's becoming a really popular comedian right now. And I think he's on a late night show as well. So he's kind of Andrew Stanley. He's kind of an up and coming. It's clean humor. He's really good, and that was one of his bits. Yeah.
So fun. In the years past, or even this year, was there something that you maybe got out of it that was just a little bit different or a little bit new, even from the scriptures of like using different types of technology? Because I know you're using AI this year with some of the fake flannograph stuff. Like, is there anything or is it? Does it feel repetitive but good, or repetitive? Like, I don't know. I think that's just the question of so many years of preaching the Easter service, almost like a Christmas Eve service.
It is.
Where it's like, okay, so you know what you're going to be preaching about, but how has God maybe like interacted or changed, in you in like this season of like coming into Easter?
I think just being clear that it is an event and we can put our faith into it. This year was a different slant. I've never done it before, from a religious slant that Easter is not religious. I'd never done that before. And it seemed to resonate with people.
Yeah.
I don't know. You tell me. You were talking to people in the patio, but it's just different angles. Yeah. But the bottom line is we can put our faith in Jesus because he is alive. I did like the messaging this year, and it's starting point, day one. There was nothing religious. There weren't any rules. There wasn't any religion. There wasn't any superstition. And their message of Peter and John and others, Jesus rose from the dead and he's alive. We can put our faith and trust in him. So I think in the past, it would be very complicated trying to prove a point. I feel like I'm getting more simple.
Okay.
I feel like I'm just say it, call it like it is, and this is what happened. I also saw another comedian on Instagram, everybody. So that's where I'm getting my news.
There you go.
But he said, the Christians just win. They just win from all the other religions.
Mhm.
And he goes on and on and on. Eventually, let me just prove it to you. What year is this? Well, it's 2025. There you go. The Christians won.
Yeah.
They changed the calendar.
Yep.
Because of the calendar of Jesus, we have 2025 this year, or whatever date you have. So Jesus split history. That's how important he was.
Absolutely.
I thought that was a great insight.
They won.
They won. Christians won because it was based on an event.
Gotcha. The only question I got from this past week,
Out of 700
people, only one question.
Oh,
Well, here we
good.
go.
Okay.
Now, when you're saying there was no religion, but isn't the beginning of this, it was the beginning of a new religion. Wasn't it called Christianity? That was somebody's just kind of open question.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Because you're thinking
Yeah.
Christianity is one of the main religions. So it's how you want to define it.
Mhm.
I'm just saying it was not called Christianity from day one, the
Mhm.
birth of Christianity. They were followers of the one of the way, because Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life.
Mhm.
There was no building.
Mhm.
They didn't take up an offering. There weren't any rules.
Mhm.
When you look at the beginning of Acts, they believed and then they were baptized. There was no vote by a church.
Yeah.
Can we vote on these people to be baptized? There was no vote on, do we do communion?
Yeah.
Do this in remembrance of me.
Yeah.
Jesus was very clear in the upper room.
Yeah.
Every time you think of me, take communion.
Yeah.
So the idea of denomination saying we need to vote on communion, I'm just telling you, it was not there.
Mhm.
Help me out. I mean, so it evolved that we would define it as a religion because it's a spiritual journey.
Yeah.
Sure, in that definition. But the religious definition that you need to have the structure, these rules, a ladder climb in order to be better or closer, you need to do these things.
Mhm.
That was not there.
Mm.
So the question is, one more time, isn't it not another religion? Jesus did not come into the world. I think I said it. Remind me, or one of the services.
Mhm.
God knew we didn't need another religion. There
Yeah.
were plenty of them.
Yeah.
He came and restored a relationship with us.
Mhm.
God is not interested in another religion.
Mhm.
My definition of religion, another ladder climbing
Yeah.
things that we need to do in order to get God to love us.
God's like, hey, my son already, we paid it.
And then there's a point of Christianity. We paid for you don't need a ladder
You
climb.
don't need a ladder anymore.
You don't need that's really good.
All right.
We should make that a series.
Hey,
You don't need a ladder.
don't need a
anymore.
ladder.
There we should have named it that. Hey, everybody, let's redo the series.
We're going to do that coming
Yeah.
2027. Don't need a ladder.
Actually, that's really good, Joel.
Hey,
we
all
don't
right.
need a ladder anymore.
Yeah.
That's really good.
All right.
So that's my answer. Yeah, we call it a religion, but because it's a religious thing. But we Christians, we are saying we're followers of Jesus.
Mhm. Yeah, some of the big conversations I've been having with people about these last couple weeks too of losing my religion, especially because we've used the ladder for 3 weeks. Someone was telling me that they feel like their life is a lot like the kids' game Chutes and Ladders. Do you remember that game?
No.
You roll a little dice. There's 100 spots. And if you land on a ladder, you get to climb up and go higher in the numbers. And then if you hit a chute, which is, a slide, then you have to go down the board. And the goal is to get to the very top. And they felt like that was their life in religion, is that sometimes they roll it and all of a sudden they're going down the slide.
Now I'm getting all
Farther
these
away.
ideas that we could have used
Right.
on Sunday. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, and it's very much like Chutes and Ladders.
Yeah.
And they were
Whoops, I didn't make it.
Didn't make it exactly. Oh, I rolled the wrong dice. I made the wrong choice. I'm back down to spot 4.
Yeah.
My friends were at
What
68.
a great illustration.
So, and then, so that was one of the things that made me actually smile because it reminded me of that childlike faith portion again, too, that they brought in. It's literally like a preschool game.
Yeah.
And it was somebody who was in their 60s that was like, it was like Monopoly and it's Chutes and Ladders. It's one of those famous ones.
It's really good.
And I had a really great conversation because I was asking, I was like, what makes you feel like like God is, pushing you down a slide, like in your life? Like, is it just life circumstances? Is it a woe is me? Is it a victim? Is it what is it? And they looked at me kind of dumbfounded and went, I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't think God's pushing me away. And I'm like, I don't think God's pushing you away either.
Right.
Are we the ones choosing to go down those slides to go farther away from Jesus?
That's really good. Yeah, we're like, we are making it. We're not following the rules. Or people who give up on church.
Yeah.
There's other people judging them going, there's a family that came to our church years ago that were going to another church, and they showed up a little sheepish with their daughter and a brand new baby. And they said, our daughter got pregnant her senior year in high school, and we were kicked out of our last church. Will we be welcome here? I was like, absolutely
not. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
just
no, absolutely. You're welcome here.
Exactly.
And they said, well, again, we almost gave up on church because we're kicked out of church because our daughter got pregnant and with her boyfriend. And so, well, that's judgmentalism that you didn't measure up here.
Yep.
You failed, and your entire family needs to be excommunicated from the church. It's god awful. Yeah. So that's not the heartbeat of God.
No.
And so that's ladder climbing, an extreme example there. But people really feel that. Yeah, I'm not measuring. I'm not making it. You're not as good as. And so there's judgmentalism, and it breeds hypocrisy. Religion breeds hypocrisy. Because you can start very quickly nitpicking. They're not doing that. They didn't do that.
Absolutely.
And they're telling me I should, and they don't.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so, no, Jesus is love one another, and forgiveness is what he said at the cross. And what he said is, it is finished. In other words, that word, it is finished, teleo, meaning in the Greek that debt paid in full. Or also your sentence, if you were sentenced to go to prison, your debt has been paid. You're free from prison. So I love that. It is finished. There's no more debt that we can pay to Jesus for any of our sin. It's been done.
Reminds me of one of those famous Dallas Willard quotes, and I'm gonna do the message version, which is more the updated version. He said something to the line to the tune of, "If I'm not good enough to attend that church, they shouldn't be a church."
That's a great line. That's a great line.
Right,
yeah.
right. And that has stuck with me for so long. If I'm not good enough to attend that church, then they shouldn't be a church. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Because that's just saying that the door's open for everybody, no matter where you're at.
Yeah.
And again, we say it all the time, church for everybody in every story. So
I love our vision statement. Exactly.
Yes,
exactly.
yes.
Can rub some people wrong, but it's the heartbeat of Jesus.
It is. It absolutely
everybody
is.
is welcome. Everybody's welcome in the family. God so loved the world.
Yep.
The angels came and declared to the shepherds, this is good news for all people, not religious people, not a certain race, religion, social, economic. This is good news, all people. Very clear throughout the scripture. The ultimate goal that God had and why he sent his Jesus to come into this earth to die on the cross for us, it was for all of humanity.
And I saw Jesus hanging out with everybody.
Everybody.
I mean, from the demon possessed to the very churchy to prostitutes to whoever. I mean, tax collectors. I mean, just think about who Jesus hung out with, and to say that we can't hang out with that person because they've done this thing, or they're not welcome at this church because they've done this thing, when Christ paid it all on the cross. And I think that was the beauty of the transition of Good Friday service to the Easter celebration, was the heaviness of that worship service, realizing, and just a reminder every year what was really paid on that cross. And then the great news is that we already know the ending of the story. It's like we've recorded a sports game.
Right.
It's like we already saw the Dodgers won 9-2. Are you going to watch the game at the same, like, oh no, what's going to happen in the 7th inning? I already know the end.
We know the end of the story.
Yeah, we know. Spoiler alert. Jesus won. So it's just a really great reminder in that Easter season.
Yeah.
And then last question. What is your favorite part about the Easter season, kind of leading up to it? Like what is something that like gets you excited? Even from we can throw back to like Ash Wednesday. Like I think it just culminates.
Yeah, it's those 40 days of Lent. And it's you're giving up something or giving up something on Lent, but spending extra time in prayer, spending extra time. The idea of fasting is that when I feel hungry, that's when you pray. Like you're groaning, you're crying out to God. So let the hunger be a reminder to pray. So whatever it is that you do during Lent, I do like those 40 days. And it's like you're giving something up but it is a time, I feel like that time leading up to Easter is drawing close to God.
Yeah.
I spend extra time in my devotions in the morning, extra time praying and studying and reading. And so for me, the Easter season is just great because, and I really do like the Lent, even though it's supposed to be also kind of depressing and you're giving something up. But it's actually a reminder and it's a season to draw closer to God.
Absolutely. Well, if you haven't listened to this past week's sermon yet, go listen to the Easter 2025 sermon. It's on. You can find it wherever we send out our sermons, on YouTube, on Instagram, on our website, and so much more, on any of our social media links as well. And send that sermon to someone who needs to hear it. It's a great message of hope and making sure people are reminded that they don't need a ladder in their life, unless you need to do some, home improvements or something. But with that said, we have new podcasts coming out every single Tuesday. So hit that subscribe button and invite a friend this Sunday to Malibu Pacific Church with our new service times. We have 2 services, 9:30 and 11 o'clock, 9:30 and 11 o'clock. And it's going to be awesome. We are always going to have amazing environments. No matter the week, it's not just an Easter blowout or anything like that. And I promise you, if you bring a friend, they're going to have a good time and they're going to find the information helpful.
Yeah.
So with that said, thank you again for tuning into the Malibu Pacific Church podcast. And again, we'll see you next week for another episode. Bye, everybody.
Take care.